Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on into another fantastic episode of Bar Talk. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, happy Thursday, happy Friday, happy Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever it is that you are listening to this. I hope you're having the best day ever. And guys, if your day's not going the way that you want it to go, you and only you have the power to turn it around and make it absolutely extraordinary. Okay, guys, we are at episode 91 today. And it's kind of a big one because we are celebrating 2 years of Bar Talk. Holy shit. For a few reasons. Actually, that's a lie. Someone told me once no shit is holy. So I should probably stop saying holy shit. I learned that in 8th grade. Anyways, so if you guys follow Bar Talk's Instagram account, about a week ago I had posted that I was kind of like down for the count. I got sick pretty bad, and it was not pretty. I had a really bad stomach bug. So you can go ahead and figure that out. But I basically slept for a week because I think I realized that I haven't I don't want to say I haven't been taking care of myself because it's not that, but I haven't stopped moving, and I haven't stopped since like Thanksgiving or like before Thanksgiving. So my body caught up to me and was like, "Hey, Jenna girl, I need you to just like chill out." And so that's what we did. We just chilled out, and I just needed some well-needed rest. And I knew that Bar Talk's anniversary was coming up. However, um I missed it. I think that's kind of funny. Um, you hear about people like in marriages who like say that they like eventually down the line that they like forget their anniversary. So like if I was married to Bar Talk like I pretty much am, um, I think I would be in the doghouse right now because I forgot it. I can't believe it. If you have ever forgotten your anniversary with your significant other, can you share? Because it's kind of funny. Um, but I guess when your head's in a toilet, you're not really paying attention to like the anniversary of this. So, anyways, guys, it's Bartok's 2-year anniversary. And seriously, like, I'm so grateful to be able to continue doing this, that we're still going and we're still growing. And I guess, I'm a big, like, I love reflecting. So I've been reflecting a lot lately. And someone recently had said to me, like, Jen, why don't you tell the story about like how Bar Talk came about? And I guess I was like, oh, I've never shared that. Like, I kind of just forgot. So we are going to kind of start back at the beginning for how I came up with this idea, why I wanted to do it, what it looked like in my head, um, my hesitation for not starting it sooner, because guys, I had this idea, like I sat on this idea for 7 years. So why I sat on it for 7 years and kind of more. So before we go ahead and get into that, I have 3 quick things for you guys. Okay. Number 1, welcome on in. If you are a returning regular customer, listener of mine, welcome on back, guys. Love to have you here. If you are someone that is new to the podcast, welcome on in. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to tune in and listen in. So, whatever streaming platform that you are listening to this, guys, like, subscribe, leave a review, rate. They help more than you know. So, if you are an Apple podcaster, leave a rating, leave a review. Seriously, if you take 30 seconds out of your day, it means the absolute world to me. If you are a Spotify listener now, you can not only follow along, but you can also leave a 5-star rating. So, if you could do that, that would be amazing. Follow us along. It is at Bar Talk with Jenna across the board: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We are going to be having more video content coming out, and I'm looking to grow my YouTube page. So if you could go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I hate when people say that, but it's kind of part of the thing that I'm doing here, guys. If you could do that, that would seriously be wonderful. Number 2, stay until after this. We're going to go back to my handy dandy red box to do another segment I like to call Here's a Tip for You. And then number 3, guys, this is kind of a 2-parter. I have a candle burning and she's beautiful and her name is Celine. And the only candle, guys, I trust to have burning in my house is by LYW Candles. LYW standing for Light Your Way. So you should go ahead and buy some candles for the season because let's be real, guys, a candle never goes out of style. It's always in season. And there's nothing better than walking into like a part of your place and just smelling the candle because it literally lights up the whole it gives you something, guys. And my whole place right now smells like rosemary, sage, and white bergamot. So I would love it if you could go ahead and head on over to their Instagram page, which is at LYW Candles, or their website, which is lywcandles.com, and use code BARTALK20 at checkout to get 20% off your next order. Okay. And then second part, guys, I'm open for business. What does that mean? So as you guys know, your girl is a bartender and I love bartending. And I actually recently did a private party and it ended up being like a lot more fun than I thought. So I'm opening it up to you guys. So if you guys are in need of a private bartender, if you are interested in doing some cocktail classes, either slide into my DMs or you can send me an email. It's going to be bartalkwithjenna@gmail.com and let me know kind of if you're interested in a bartender for any of your parties coming up. And I would be more than happy to oblige. And we can talk about the details in the DMs or in the email from there. Okay, guys, that's all I got. Let me go ahead and share how Bar Talk came about. I was 21 years old, and at this point, I had already started bartending at the family pub. I was not good at it, and I was also bartending at RJ Grunt's. So I think I've told you guys a little bit. I worked for Lettuce Entertain You for quite a number of years, and I started off as a hostess at RJ Grunt's. I'm on the wall. I'm at table 42. If you ever want to go into RJ Grunt's in Lincoln Park, you can check my picture out. I'm a baby in that. I think I was 19 when I took that photo. I seriously, it's wild. But anyways, so back to this. 21 years old. I'm bartending. I'm a student at DePaul. I know that I want to do some form of sports broadcasting. And I got my first sports internship at a place called Campus Insiders. The building is not even in the West Loop anymore. It is now condominiums, which is just weird to think about. We were kitty corner from when Harpo Studios was still there. Harpo Studios is now where the McDonald's headquarters is. So that's not even there anymore. So again, it's crazy to think like how much has changed in less than a decade. I think it's been like 8 years. Maybe it's been a decade. Wait, how long has it been? It's been a while. Anyways, the time doesn't matter. I got an internship at Campus Insiders and was super excited. It was not kind of what I wanted, we'll say. I really wanted an internship that was more TV based. And those internships are just really competitive and very hard to come by. But I found myself in the digital space, which I guess where sitting here now is not ironic. So, Campus Insiders at this point had probably been maybe a little bit over a year old. And it was the very beginning of people putting like quality video content on the internet. And I went in on a day that they clearly messed up. It was the day after the very first college football national championship game. So when they started that, like the football brackets, I don't even remember where the game was, but the whole crew was there and they either flew home Monday or Monday was their off day. So I went in Monday and I didn't need to be there. And you could tell the people that were there, like I don't know, account executives or whatever their jobs were like, oh God, let's just like give this poor child like something to do today because we don't really need her and she's going to be more part of the broadcasting side and whatnot. But so again, it was crazy. And they put me in to this guy's it was just his office. It was like me and I think someone else, another intern. I honestly don't even remember. But we're sitting there, and at that point they had kind of given me a tour of the place and what it looked like, and these are where everyone's offices were, so when you do meet them, these are where these people are. And I remember walking into the studio and it just looking like a studio. Like it was a very ESPN-esque studio. And the guy sitting down, I was like asking him questions like, you're just trying to get the ball rolling of a conversation. Like, why are you doing this? Where do you think the digital is going? What kind of stuff are you wanting to do? At the time I was not as blunt as I am now. So I'll never forget him saying, we're trying to create these like shorter video segments that are like ESPN, but we don't want to be ESPN. And in my head, I would say it now. I would never have said it back then. I was 21. I was like, well, you look just like ESPN. Like the whole setup, the way they were talking, even the way that they dressed was very ESPN. And I was like, I don't see how this is gonna work. And so in my head, I was like, well, what are you guys trying to do to create like a not ESPN environment? He's like, well, we want it to be more relaxed. And I don't remember what exactly he said, but there was a light bulb that went off in my head. And I go, ooh, bar talk with Jenna. Oh, that's a great idea. Don't tell anyone. So I just I sat in that meeting and in my head thought about what would a show look like with bar talk? Like, how does that look? How would we create this? What does this look like? And I remember thinking, like, I'm not going to do anything right away, but like, that's a really good idea. So I'd never told anyone about it. Probably a year later, if you're watching this, you'll see I always have these little like tchotchkes around me. So the bar sign up top, I actually purchased probably like a month or so after that interview or after that internship started. And I kept it in my room where every day when I woke up, it was like the first thing I saw. And I would just look at it. And I remember thinking like there's something there. But I didn't, but I also was very inexperienced. I was just getting started in doing everything that I'm doing. So I knew that there was a lot more I had to learn, to say the least. So then I'm kind of in the thick of it. Like I'm at DePaul, I'm doing sports broadcasting. That was what I always wanted to do. And so the bar side of it was more of like I never wanted to talk about being a bartender because I think, and I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but I always felt that there was some kind of shame because I've had people say things to me like, oh, you're just a bartender. Like you're really just a bartender. And it always like felt like a really awful jab and I hated it. So I never really talked about it. Um and that sounds so awful to say, right? Because I love being a bartender. Like I really do. And I'll say this too, as I've been job hunting, I've made more money serving drinks, slinging pizzas. Like I've doubled it compared to what these people are offering me now. It's actually sickening. So that's a sidebar. But anyways, so that's how bar talk kind of began. And then I had started doing more of the sports thing and was, I hosted a volleyball TV, like a beach volleyball show. I had done stuff with the New York Giants and the LA Chargers. And I was doing all these like really cool things. But while I was always at these events, I found myself always talking about the bar and my upbringing. And then when I was at the bar, I was talking about these events. And so that's when I said to myself, how is there a way to marry my two worlds? Like there's got to be a way that I can really beautifully bring the two things I love together, right? Like how can I do that and what does that even look like? Has it been done before? And so what I started doing was I had a pot, like a metaphorical pot, we'll say. And whenever I would meet someone that I liked or that did something that I enjoyed, I would take it and throw it in the pot. Like a little, it was like I was creating my own recipe, so to speak, of like, all right, this is going in the pot. This is going in the pot. I like the way this person interviews. Okay, that's in the pot. I like the way that the editing's done with this. This is in the pot. Okay, that sports segment can be added into this. That's in the pot. And I'm still adding to the pot, guys. Like let's not get that wrong. Like it's a never ending recipe we're trying to master that, to be honest, I don't think I ever will, and I'm okay with that. So now um I was bartending full time. I'm trying to think when it would have been. 2019. 2019? Yeah, beginning of summer 2019, I was bartending full time, and I was like I loved it. Like I was working before I was bartending full time. I was working at an office job. Um, and I the office job was great, but it just did not fill me up. And I loved bartending. I loved being on my feet. I loved the interacting with different people coming in. And I wanted to get back to that. And I also realized too, while I was doing this office job, I was still working for lettuce only one day a week, but I was like, I think I want to challenge myself. I want to do a different kind of restaurant setting, like something a little bit more high end, something where I can make a little bit more money. Um, I don't at the time, like seriously, guys, I really didn't know how to make cocktails, because at RJ Grunts we were basically like tap beer and that was it. And like very, very basic cocktails. Like I knew how to make a martini. I didn't know how to make an old fashioned. Um, I didn't know how to do a lot of shit like at the time, seriously. So I get transferred over to Pizzeria Portofino, and I am probably at this point, like, I'm so happy. Um, I was making incredible money. Like, I remember getting my first paycheck being like, I made that much money making drinks. Why did I go to college? Like, seriously, I'm not kidding you. Like, it was insane. And I loved it. I loved the people I worked with. I loved the environment. I loved that it was like lively. I loved being downtown. There were all these things that I loved. And then I turned 27 in December. I don't know what is so significant about one's 27th birthday. If you have had this birthday, you understand it. If you haven't, you will. It's a weird year. I turned 27 and I remember thinking, what the fuck am I doing with my life? And I just remember being like, I'm not doing anything that I want to do. Like I'm not going in the direction in which I feel I'm supposed to be doing, because I knew that I wanted to do this. I just didn't know how to do it. And the other thing that, people don't always tell you with this industry is they're like, you have to move. And I'm like, I'm not moving. Like I was very stubborn on that, which I know my professors hated. Poor Rick Brown definitely hated that about me. Um, I lived in a small town, and don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, but it was not meant for me. I realized from my early college years that I am the best version of myself when I'm surrounded by my family. And I wanted that support system. I missed my sense of community. There were all of these things that I felt people went out looking for that I was like, I already have this here. Like, why am I going to create create something? Like, I didn't want to do it. So I was like, we're gonna find a way to do this in Chicago. I know it's hard. I know Chicago's the number 3 market. I know this is going to be a tough task, but I also know that I can do this. So we're gonna do it. I don't care how. I will figure it out. So now I turn 27, and it's the new year, and I didn't know what I wanted my New Year's goals to be. At this point, I was like, maybe I need to move. And I had looked at about, I think it was like 7 or 8 different places that I could move. And they were all places that I could transfer from, meaning I could still keep my lettuce job. I could still keep my restaurant job. because I was still making good money. So they have different restaurants all over the country. So I was like, let me see if there's a way that I can do this. Um, so I went to a friend's mom of mine who is a psychic medium, and I said to her, listen, I just need some guidance. I don't want you to tell me like my fortune, which is not what she does, but I was like, I just need some guidance because I feel like I'm not doing what I need to do. And I think I'm supposed to move. And she goes, okay, tell me the places. So I list off all of the cities, and every single one, she was like, no, no. And I was like, nothing. And she goes, I know this sounds weird, but you're on the path you're supposed to be on. You just need to be a little bit more patient right now. And so she, at the time, was working with someone who was also like in the spiritual world, like, and was like kind of practicing his gifts. And she says, he's going to come in. I don't want you to tell him anything that I've said to you. I want to see what he says. And I said, okay. And at the time, I had thought about either like doing bar talk or just like getting a job. But my whole hesitation was, I'm like, I don't want to get a job and then look back and think like, why didn't I ever try this? Right? Like, come on, like I should at least try. So I sit down and I'm kind of saying to this man like what it is that I want to do. And he said something to me that really struck a nerve, but it was a good nerve to be struck. Um, he said to me, does it have to be sports? And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm gonna stab this man. Like, I was so mad. And hearing that was actually what I needed. So I then said, okay, let's give this podcast a go. And that was kind of the conclusion that we came to in our conversation was try it. Like, I don't think you know unless you try. Like, I really think you need to give this a shot. And if it doesn't work, like the sports job will always be there. Right. So I'm like, all right, we're going to do it. I don't know how, but we're going to do it. So I started doing a lot of prep work. And basically, it's not like you can just, you know, turn on a microphone and be like, bam, here I am. There's a lot of work that goes into it. The one was, what do I look like? Meaning the logo, the fonts, like the sound, what was my mission statement? What did I want to convey? Why would people come? Why would they listen? Like I was asking myself all of these things pretty early on. And my goal was, okay, we're going to do all this prep work. We're going to line up some different types of guests to have on, and we are going to launch this come opening day, which is normally end of March, early April, right? So that was kind of my thought process behind all of this. And I remember hearing murmurs, whispers of something called um, the coronavirus in the beginning of March, like end of February. And I have a lot of family who is in the medical field. And, I remember them saying, like, well, people will just be able to work from home, so it'll be fine. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't have that luxury. So, like, what's going to happen to me? And I was talking to my manager one day in the beginning of pre-shift at the restaurant at Portofino. And I said to him, listen, we're heading towards the iceberg and I'm not going to be able to work from home. So what are you going to do for me? And as a captain of a ship, you're supposed to be obnoxiously optimistic, which is what he was doing, which was part of his job. And I just knew I wasn't going to have a job. Like I just knew that I was fucked. I just knew it. And I went to the Southside parade, and the day before or 2 days before, the parade got canceled, but the festivities were still happening, and I was with my cousin Johnny, and I got a notification on my phone from NBC5 that said, I remember the date, it was Sunday, March 15th, and the headline read, "All bars and restaurants to be closed on March 17th." I grabbed a bottle of scotch and I drank it. And I mean, I drank a lot of it. And found Johnny, and I did this, and I know myself now, I do that like self-deprecating humor laughter where I was like, yeah, I don't have a job. This is great. And the day of it either was the day of the 17th or the day before, the president of our company of Let Us Entertain You, um, RJ Melman, got on a call with all of the employees and basically said, like, these are the people that we're going to furlough. These are the people that are going to get a check based off of seniority, based off of full-time status, part-time status. And we don't have really anything to give you right now because we don't know when we're going to come back. I remember trying to convey to my roommates at the time the like severity of this. And I couldn't, what's hard sometimes, and I think we've all been there, is when you have this feeling inside of you that you know is bad, sometimes you don't always know how to properly communicate it. And I remember them saying to me, like, well, we'll just get you like a babysitting job, or like, we can do this, or we can do that. And I got so like angry and frustrated and sad and all of these emotions. And it was because I didn't know how to convey them that I literally grabbed my keys and I walked out of the house. I walked out of the house, I got in my car, and I was like, okay, you need to just go through this. You are going to go through the emotions. And I called one of my girlfriends and I just screamed and I cried. And it was not the like I'm not a cute crier, guys. Like, I'm a very ugly. There were snots involved. My face was blotchy and red. Tears are streaming down my face. And I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna get money. What do I do? And then, I think a lot of us felt this during the pandemic as well. For anyone who did lose their job, you felt, and let me say this, I felt, I don't want to put feelings in your mouth. I felt that I lost part of my identity, because a lot of the times people's identity gets wrapped up in their jobs. And I was like, what am I providing to society if I'm sitting on my ass? Like, this is embarrassing. Like, I still had two roommates one was a nurse, one was working at at a company. Like, they still had purpose. They still had reason to get up every day. And I just remember when I got home and I cried and was so emotional, my mom was like, "Okay, well, we need to file for unemployment. Like, that's the first thing you need to do." What's the first thing everyone does when you don't know what to do? You call your mom. I love you, mom. Thank you for always picking up the phone and helping me out with everything. So, filed for unemployment, and now it was a waiting game. But I remember looking ahead, and the way that my brain operates is when I have a fork in the road, I can see the paths very clearly in hyperspeed. And I remember seeing the one path and thinking, I can stay up every night until 4:35 in the morning watching Netflix movies, sleep until 2, drink all day, drink and eat all day, um, feel like shit about myself, and get really depressed. I was like, that's the road I'm going down if I do this. And I said, I need to find a reason to wake up. Like that was all this path told me, was like, you need to find a reason to get out of bed. And I didn't know what the reason was. So I was like, okay, what do I want to do? And before I said that, I was like, we felt all of our emotions, which I want to say. And I think I've said this before, but like the day of, I felt everything, guys. Like I was like, there is a storm behind me. I'm not running away from it. I'm turning around and I'm running towards it. And I ran through the storm and I felt every negative, ugly emotion that I could feel, because I was like, we need to go through this to figure out what's on the other side. So go through it, Jen. So I go through it, and I then remember thinking to myself, like, okay, what do I want to do? Like very simple question, Jenna. What the fuck do you want to do? And I said, I want to bartend. And I go, well, how can I bartend? And then there was that little ding. This. I had this bar set up in my basement. I had this Biggie sign. It was all a dream on the wall, which I had bought maybe in December of 2019, because to me this all started off as a dream. That's why I always bought it, and I thought it looked cool as shit. Um and I was like, "Oh my god, Jenna, you have it. Like maybe this wasn't the plan, but it's better than the plan. So I think you do this." I should also say this too, guys. When I was getting ready to start this, I didn't know anything about starting a podcast. Like I knew nothing. I knew absolutely nothing. So my thought was, okay, well, we don't need to know how to do a podcast right now, Jenna. Like my phrase, you'll figure it out. What if you did this via Instagram Live? I'm like, I had started the Bar Talk account page. I hadn't promoted it. I hadn't posted anything about it. But I was like, maybe, just maybe, this is the plan. Maybe the plan is because to get people to notice and to care and to feel like they're a part of this. Maybe you get them now when they're at home, and maybe you're just virtually bartending for them. Maybe we're all just sharing a drink together. Because what I said I really wanted to do was I wanted to bartend. And so I was like, okay, we're going to do this. And then it was, okay, well, how? And then it was, oh my God, this is terrifying. Oh my God, what if no one cares? Oh my God, what if no one watches? Like, what if it's my mom and my two roommates? Like, how am I going to do this? Then you have that like panic voice inside of you that's like, no one's going to care. Everyone's going to make fun of you. You're stupid. This is ridiculous. This is the dumbest thing I've ever thought of on the planet. Like every one of those things, like she was running in my brain back and forth like this, like you're a moron. Don't do this. Oh my God, you think people are going to care? Ha 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 ha. Like, so then I was like, okay, pause. Who do we need to call someone? Okay. So then I call my girlfriend, one of my very good friends, Miss Madison Cuckoo. And I think I had already kind of voiced to her that I was trying to do something like this. So I said to her, listen, I have this idea and I need your help. And she was like, I'll never forget her, her voice on the other end. She literally was like, Jenna, what are you talking about? I said, I just need you to go with me. Like, I just need you to go with me. We're going to do it live. You're going to have a cocktail and we're going to see if we can do this. Like, let's just see. So my heart, I remember like getting ready, like the countdown of looking at my phone of like hitting the live button at 8:00. Cause for those of you who have been around for a while, you remember we went live at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time pretty much every night. And it was, I remember being so nervous, and I can't even listen to that first episode. If you guys want to, it's available on YouTube, like to listen to it. The first 40 episodes are available to watch on YouTube. Um, But I remember going back. I'm like, oh, it's so bad. My voice sounds terrible. Um, and what was, I guess, crazier about it wasn't just my mom and my roommates. Um, I think we had over like 200 people tuned in. I think it was like 241. I think was the number. I think it was 241. 241? Yeah. Yeah, I think it was 241. And like that was the peak of it. And when we ended, I don't even like I had some questions lined up to ask her and then was like engaged in like like not really I didn't know how it worked yet and it went so well. And then someone had DM'd me and was like, "Hey, how about I come on tomorrow?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And then it was like, "Hey, I'll come on tomorrow." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And then I was like, "Okay, well, who do I want on now?" Like but it was cool. It was all really cool. Um, so what's crazy about COVID um was as low of a point as that was in my life. Because like what you won't find out obviously, or what I didn't know in that moment was, guys, I didn't get unemployment until 7 months later. No, wait, it was 5 months. I was unemployed for 7 months and I didn't get my first unemployment check until 5 months later. Yeah. Um, very grateful that I had people in my life to help me financially because I I don't know what I would have done. Like I pretty much went through everything. Um, it's not something you plan for. And, at that point in my life, I was very irresponsible when it came to my finances and was like just not like financially literate at the time or like never thought about I never thought I mean, you just don't think something like that's gonna ever happen. Um, but I'll say this, like, it was, in all honesty, like and I remember feeling so bad for saying this for the longest time, but, like, COVID was genuinely the best thing that ever happened to me. Losing my job was the best thing that ever happened to me because what I needed was time, and COVID gave me God, it gave me the time I needed. I needed the time to do this. And I ended up doing, I'll never forget, I did 19 shows in a row. 19 days. I drank 19 days. 19-day bender. Not my proudest moment. Um, looking back though, it was fun. It's probably why I don't drink a lot anymore. Um, but yeah, that's a crazy time to look back on. And again, it's interesting now to reflect. It was 2 years ago. Like it's crazy to see how much has changed in 2 years and how much I still want to do. Like, and I just had a meeting today with someone about a project that I'm working on. Um, and I said, I go, I don't even think I've like scratched the surface yet on like what it is I want to do and like what it is I want to kind of bring to you guys and like provide for you, whether it's laughter, whether it's something a little bit more serious, whether it's just a good story. Like there's so much more I want to do. And I haven't accomplished a lot of the goals yet that I've wanted to accomplish. And I want to talk about that. So, there were two things. So, one, I recently just got a tattoo. I got a new tattoo about a month ago. Tattoo number 3. Now, I just want tiny tattoos all over my body now. I'm obsessed with my tattoo guy. I'm not telling you him because I don't want to share him because I still need to make sure I can go to him. And he was already booked out like a month and a half out. So, anyway, if you really want a tattoo guy, like DM me and let me know. So I got this tattoo on the back of my neck. You can't really see it, and I'm not turning around because it's not happening. But I always wanted the tattoo. I wanted a tattoo, a small tattoo of the Northern Star, just on the back of my neck, because I always said to myself, I know that my life is going to change. I want my life to change. I'm putting in all of this work. I'm busting my ass because I'm ready for that change. So even though things around me may change, like maybe I can afford to get my hair done a little bit more frequently. maybe I have a nicer purse. Maybe I don't have to worry about struggling to pay my rent from time to time. Like those things, like the aesthetic part is going to change. But as long as my heart faces north, that's all that matters. Like that part of me is never going to change. My heart will always be the same. And I said to myself that I would get this tattoo when I got the job of my dreams. So here's the thing, guys. I haven't gotten the job of my dreams yet. That's okay, because I realized something. And that's what we're about to do right now. If you're always waiting and you're not celebrating, then it's not here. So I know, maybe you're like, when this happens, I'm going to celebrate this. But you're actually telling the universe that like it's not here. So you have to act like it's here. So you're celebrating like it's always here. So we're going to pull something out. This bottle. If you guys remember one of my very first guests, I think he was guest number like 7. I think he was guest number 7. Mr. Brian Luce told me about Basil Hayden. So I have had this bottle of Basil Hayden like since then. And I said to myself, I'm not going to open this until that dream job comes, till that offer comes. And so it's been sitting in the back of my bar collecting dust, and it never gets looked at. How sad. How sad. And then I realized if I'm always waiting to drink this, that the opportunity is never going to come. So we're going to open this and we're going to see what it tastes like. I said that I would drink this when I got the job of my dreams. Ooh. Oh my God. Is it stuck? I might have to go get my rubber glove, guys. Wait, seriously, I can't open this. In my head, this was way more smooth, but this is where, God has a really funny sense of humor. Seriously, how do I open this? Okay, hold on. Let's get the glove. So we got the glove. Let's see if I can open this now. There we go. That's what I needed. Okay. Ooh. So I don't want to tell you guys what the dream job is because I'm superstitious. And now I sound like Julia Fox where she's talking about like, all of that stuff or whatever. Remember where she's like, if you ask me, it's masterpiece. That bitch is fucking crazy, by the way. That's a total sidebar. Anyways, we're back to this. I always said I would pour this when the job of my dream came. It hasn't come, but that doesn't mean we can't celebrate because it's going to come. Because out there, it already has come. So if you guys, I guess you got to celebrate, even if it hasn't come yet. You need to celebrate the fact that it's here and that you're going to get it and that all of it's going to work out. Like you don't have to know how. Like you got to let go of the how. You just have to work and trust that the universe has your back. And good Lord, do I know she got my back? Okay, here we go. Oh my God, I can't believe, guys, I seriously can't believe I'm pouring this. I've held out on this bottle for 2 years now. 2 years. So again, I'm like nervous. Oh God. I'm trying to see what it smells like. Hold on. It's a little bit of caramel. A little like burnt char, like a burnt barrel. It smells like a burnt barrel. Yeah, a lot of wood notes. Okay, so this is to getting that job and celebrating it even before you get it, because it comes, whether you want to believe it or not. Cheers. tell you this, guys, that'll clear up your sinuses. Ooh, damn, that's good. God damn. Okay. Okay. I know it sounds a little crazy, but for anyone who's working towards something, like I seriously was like, I'm not drinking this, I'm not celebrating it, I'm not saying anything until it happens, but like maybe we got to. And maybe it'll come. Because here's the thing is like it's here. It's now. I know it sounds wild to think, but it's the truth. So yeah, bar talk has been quite a journey to say the least. And 2 years down, however many more years the good Lord has for me for this journey, because I'm telling you guys, God, there's so much more I want to do. Like, and I think resting is really important. I think getting sick last week was really good for me because I really just needed to chill out. I hadn't chilled, like I wasn't relaxing really because I was just so focused on like produce, create, upload, share, produce, create, upload, share, that I wasn't pausing to reflect on some of the other issues at hand that I needed to work on with this guy. So my tip for you this week is you have two choices in life: evolve or rot. A bit harsh, but during the pandemic, I knew that in order for me to survive, in order for me to continue thriving in whatever area I wanted to do in life, I needed to evolve with the time. Do you know who ends up lasting longer in life? You know who makes it to the finish line? You know who goes past the finish line and does the lap again for years and years and years and years and years to come? It's the people that evolve. So you pick. Okay, guys, that is all I have for you this week. I'm trying to look at my calendar right now. I can't really see it because the light's in the way. Next episode will be coming out. When's opening day? Is opening day is the 14th? Yeah. So the next episode won't be coming out until the 14th of April. So be on the lookout for that. As always, if you guys are having any parties coming up and you need yourself a bartender, you can hit me up for hire. I'm available, guys. Okay. Thank you so much for listening on in, guys. And remember to take the time today to realize that we have way more in common with each other than we have different. I will see you next time. Take care.
Hey everybody, it's closing time. You don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here.